Welcome to the Leadership Unveiled, a podcast series that explores the minds and journeys of the pioneering leaders, entrepreneurs making waves in the business world. I'm your host, Neha Jagnani, and today we are in for a treat. Our guest today is not just a seasoned HR professional, but a true architect of people centric workplaces. Welcoming Pradyumna Pandey. Pradyumna is a seasoned HR professional with over 30 years of experience in human resource management across Indian and multinational companies. A strategic thinker, he specializes in talent management, organization development, and succession planning. He has successfully led end to end corporate HR functions, integrating policies across multiple units. A certified MBTI trainer, DDI facilitator, and examiner for the Ramakrishna Bajaj National Quality Awards. He is passionate about building people centric workplaces and driving impactful HR interventions. Pradyumna, thank you so much for joining us today. How do you feel about this?
It's great to be on this platform. In fact, I'm associated with HRAI for a long, and it's always good to connect with professionals. It's always good to share what you have experienced in your career. And after 33 years of corporate experience, yes, if I'm getting a chance to be on this podcast, I'm loving it.
Okay, absolutely. It's our pleasure. And I look forward to this exciting podcast. So, Pradyumna, to begin with, my first question to you is with over 3 decades in HR now, how has the role of HR leaders evolved? And what are some of the key shifts that you have observed?
See, 3 decades back when we started our career, it was more of, we normally used to call them personal management. So we have seen that terminology going from personal management to be a strategic HR partner. Uh, but in this journey, I always felt that while we say that we should involve ourselves into those business decisions, we should get involved into those big picture. But I always advised the young professionals that don't lose your sight. You cannot move away from transactional activities.
Right.
See, ultimately, it is your responsibility. Now, the way you should act is that bring more efficacy and efficiency into those transactional activities so that you can focus upon strategic things. So,
Right.
where now technology is helping us to do so, always advise that yes, we cannot say that those transactional activities are not part of my responsibility as HR. We
Right.
need to put our efforts to bring more efficiency there. So that shift, yes, has happened in the mindset that people have started. Professionals in HR have started talking about being a strategic partner, more moving from a policy enforcer to a business strategist. They talk now. So from those compliances, those administrative related jobs, now the focus is upon influencing the business decisions.
Right.
Second, I think when we talk about in earlier days, it was talent acquisitions. Now we talk about employer branding, doing the same thing, but in a better way. That is, I still remember those performance PMS, performance management system, which earlier it was done. Annual reviews were being done, but now we talk about continuous feedback. We now talk about technology getting into those reviews, and tech-enabled platforms are in place. So focus upon employees' well-being is more now. We more talk about employee experience. We talk about diversity now. Diversity, although it's again a thing which is getting debated after Trump has changed some policies in US. But yes, for India, it remains diversity becomes a focus now, which was in our earlier days, it was not so thing which was in focus. Uh, Focusing on annual surveys, the lag indicators, we now talk about predictive analysis. That is the change which I am seeing. The
Right.
technology is coming in, it is giving us insight into what employees are thinking, how the behavioral pattern, their day-to-day mood, everything is captured through technology. So now it's a tech-enabled one, but yes, I always feel that HR was there for people always. It has to be there. The people connect cannot miss from HR. That remains same. So this is that what I have seen in last 30 years that although we are there doing almost the basic remains same, but the way we do it, the focus which we are having now is influenced by technology one, and also the requirement of being part of business. We need to, as HR, we need to understand business more. Again, I will say that you cannot move away from your responsibility of those transactional activities.
Right.
Nobody other will come and do the job. You need to bring efficiency on those part also.
Right, absolutely. Thank you so much for giving that holistic view, Pradyumna. So it highlights how HR is now a strategic partner, and employee experiences, performance management systems, and diversity, how the focus has changed to these things now. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective. My next question, Pradyumna, is you have experience in both Indian and multinational companies. So, what are some of the key differences, cultural differences that you have seen in HR approaches in your experience?
Yes, there is a difference. That is the acceptance fast, but there is a disclaimer too. With Indian companies going worldwide, becoming multinational, that gap has narrowed now. If I talk about earlier days, it was, but now I can see that Indian companies are even having better work culture when we talk about, like earlier days, when we talk about Indian companies, were more hierarchical. The
Right,
hierarchy was something which was deciding the way we work.
right,
Decisions were made at top. People hesitate to challenge those decisions.
right,
Uh, but I always felt that it was only because of a traditional respect for seniority in the organization. Whereas when you talk about MNCs, employees are encouraged to voice their opinion. It is a more decentralized structure.
right,
Second is work-life balance. We still are several senior leaders calling for 90 hours, 70 hours working. So availability at it was seen as a sign of dedication. Long hours is respected. Still, it is respected in some organizations. Whereas when we see multinationals, they give more emphasis on work-life balance. Yes, communication is one, which is very important tool for HR, for management, for leaders in the organization.
right,
So I have seen that more structured channel of our communication in multinational companies. It
right,
is we should accept it that yes, that is also it's a positive sign. Employees may avoid it. And if you talk about the legacy organization in India, uh,
right,
employees may avoid open dialogues. That is a perception. I may be wrong, but that is what I have observed. Talk about MNC, they give more autonomy. See at what the decision making process we still follow a traditional approach. I have even seen one decision getting signed by 8 to 10 people on paper.
right,
So the empowerment, the delegation of authority, I think that clarity, it's coming. Again, I say that gap has narrowed now. Your focus on diversity, we have started acknowledging that diversity is important. We still are focused upon diversity, gender diversity. We are focused upon bringing PWDs, people with different abilities into our force. So that focus, if you talk about MNC, they were having more. Maybe now they get, they are still, if you talk about US companies, they will get directionless when they have one input from the government there that move away from diversity. But
right,
when they are in India, they need to understand that when we talk about diversity, it's all about bringing a diverse perspective in. We
right,
as manufacturing hub in the world, we need more innovation, more creativity at workplace, and that diversity serves that purpose. That is important. Even when we say about gender diversity, it's a talent pool which is still not explored fully. Future is all about how you tap that women employees in this country
right,
are making a difference at workplace. So that is one. Loyalty and stability, yes, Indian organizations are known for that. Job hopping is common in MNCs, but we feel that when we fell in love with the organization fast in India.
right,
The culture is that we work for 25 years, 30 years. I have seen people saying that I have worked 45 years in this organization. So those things, I think this is what a small uh, difference in both cultures, but yes, the gap has now narrowed. It's difficult. Somewhere you will even find that we have, as Indian organizations, we are become benchmark for others in the world.
absolutely. Thank you so much. That's great insights there, especially how you mentioned diversity is not just a compliance requirement. It is not just a tick in a box. It is inviting different perspectives to make even more impactful decisions, and how collective growth is must for every organization to move forward. Thank you so much. So my next question is, Pradyumna, what's the best piece of career advice that you have ever received, and who gave it to you?
I will always be grateful for my father for giving me such advice, for giving me good advices when I started my career. I think my father was a trade union leader, and his exposure, his people orientation, what I have learned from him, the
Right.
way he was dealing with different stakeholders as being a trade union leader, a lot of responsibility, whether towards management or towards the workers. But yes, when I joined, one very good advice he gave, that please consider your life while you're moving ahead. Think about a train ticket. A train ticket, you say there is a starting point, there is an end point. If you have closely observed the train ticket, so there is a starting point, there is an end point. End point becomes the vision which you create for your life, what you want to be. When I was in class seventh, a day when I came from school, I just asked him, because I got an award from a personal officer of that unit where my school was situated. I asked my father whether I can become a personal officer. He said, "Beta, tu nahi banega to kaun banega." I think that is where he brought that vision in my mind, that you have to be someone in this field of HR function. And when I was my last assignment, I was controlling 120 such people, which I aspired to become in my childhood. So the train ticket the vision becomes important for life. So he said, please create a vision where you want to be in your life, the starting point, the end point. Further, if you see the train ticket, you can see that there are different stations which are coming where the train stops. Those are the milestone of your life. You need to know which are those milestones, how you are going to achieve those milestones, what efforts you are doing towards creating those, getting those milestones. Then there is a cost and time also mentioned on the train tickets.
Right.
The efforts you need, the competencies you need to acquire is that price point. That you need to acquire those competencies. Definitely there is a uh, cost, timeline, everything. So if you see the train ticket and then start following it, that I should have a vision. So this is what it was advised by my father. I think that has helped me a lot. And yes, for sure, my first boss, he said that if you are in HR, you need to be your people orientation should be your focus. You cannot be a good HR resource if you want to just sit in a AC office. Just move around at workplace, talk to people, connect with them. Capturing their aspiration becomes important.
Right.
Capturing, creating a trust between the workforce and you as an individual, that is important. If people will trust you, then only you will be able to take forward your agenda, which is uh, pushing that vision and organization goal ahead. You will be able to do that. They will only listen to you if they trust you, and that trust is created by transparency, the way you behave. So my first was to be transparent, be open, be a people man. That is what the advice I got. But yes, life is about learning at every stage of your career. Today, even while talking to you, I will be learning something more.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that valuable advice from your father, Pradyumna. It truly is relevant for all the generations, and what a beautiful advice. Also about your boss when it comes to building that trust, when you're in HR, and it's most valuable advice. Thank you so much. So my next question, Pradyumna, is with the world of work constantly changing and evolving, what's one thing or maybe a few things about HR that has remained unchanged over all these years?
See, as I said, that people orientation is what will never be changed as a competence which HR person should have.
Right.
The transparency you are having in your dealings. People do lot comments many times about how HR deals with people, but I have in my 30 years I have seen that if you are transparent enough, if you are, um, it's important that you are able to say no to people. If you are not able to help them, please say no. This is not possible.
Right.
So that transparency part, that people orientation, as I talked about the trust part, These are the things which will never change in HR. This will be the basic foundation of for a successful HR person at workplace. I always feel that focus of HR has was always on creating engagement at workplace. Still, I feel that that is the most important responsibility.
Right.
Leave apart being talking about being a strategic HR, that is fine.
Yeah.
But the strategy is implemented, executed by people at workplace. Are you able to create that environment that people take ownership for that entire vision which you create for the organization? And for that, for sure, important is that you bring engagement at workplace, and that will remain all this responsibility of engaging employees will always remain important for HR. It was and it is and it will remain. And I always talk about those creating engagement is not through those activities which we people talk about. I say that you need to drive a discipline in the organization which is driven by process and systems, transparent process and systems. Are you as HR person pushing in using technology to create transparency in the process and systems? Is your PMS system robust? Are there platforms for collaboration in the organization? Tech-driven platforms will be, I'm saying. Are there opportunities for people to work in cross-functional teams? That is where the basic fundamental of HR 30 years back, today also. You will need those discipline which is driven by process systems. Second important is responsibility of HR towards coaching and mentoring the leaders in the organization. That has never changed. See, then you are there as custodian of culture. You need to drive a motivation which is driven by leadership behavior in the organization. But to drive that motivation, you need to coach and mentor your organization. Are they empowering people? Are they recognizing people? Are they rewarding people as an individual manager? It's my responsibility as HR. I need to make sure. So these are the basic things: that motivation, which is driven by leadership behavior, some discipline, which is driven by process and systems. These are the things which has never changed and will never change in future too.
And at the end of it, we can safely say that it's all about creating value for people, whether it's trust, transparency, communication, recognition, or mentoring people to empower them. At the end, it's all about creating value for people. Thank you, Pradyumna. So this brings us to the last question of this segment, which is, can you share some of the key learnings from managing large workforces and handling industrial relations?
I think IR is a matter of relations. It's a not matter of labor laws that we need to understand. It's about trust-based relationship with employees. Rather, I will say that it's like a seedling, a sprout. It needs the right environment to grow. So when we talk about industrial relation, it's important that not only you, the managers in the organizations are trained and they know the importance of creating the trust-based relationship in the organization. And I always talk to people and advise them that harmonious industrial relations can be maintained only by working at shop floor,
Right.
not from AC offices. That is one. You need to walk the talk because everybody is watching you. As when you are a people manager, everybody is watching you. They are keeping eye on you. So I think you're the what you or talk, you should at least be benchmark for others for on those practices. Uh, as I said, that employees always respect honesty. Even it is if it is saying no to them, they will be happy. So I think that becomes important, and informal relations that plays a very important role in industry relations.
Right.
Those informal relations, not only workplace. As a HR person, as a person responsible for industrial relation, or as a manager, you should know the aspiration of people, those who are working with you. You need to connect with them. You need to support them. You need to capture their aspirations, and it needs a lot of time. You need to invest your time to make sure that people start. And these are the things which create trust in you. It's not a short-term game. IR is not a short-term game. You need to invest. Now, I believe that IR is beyond. That's fine. We talk about handling union and all those things, but there are some basic value drivers in industrial relations. As HR professional, as IR professional, we need to focus on those value drivers. See,
Right.
reward and recognition is a value driver. How you are creating a reward and recognition system which is transparent, which is able to capture the real performance of people. Second value driver is grievance handling. Are you having a very robust system of handling grievances? See, small things become big problems. So industrial relation is capturing those small problems and at the root itself, and then eliminate them. For that, you need to have a very clear grievance handling, very robust grievance handling system where people can go and talk about what they feel,
Right.
feel good, not feeling good about. Third is, I think, even training, what we give is a big value driver, because employees now, when we talk about even in blue collar workforce, the millennials are there and they have the same aspirations as we when we talk about white collar people. So blue collar millennials, they have aspiration of moving ahead in their career. They want to make their read. They want to add education more. They have the same aspiration of taking their families to uh, market malls. So we need to invest time at the bottom of the pyramid.
Right.
So train them, give them opportunity to build their competence. That is one. Uh, Even safety. Normally, people say that it's the responsibility of safety department. No, you as HR person are responsible for driving safety in the organization. The mindset which says that the value of human life is unmatchable. You need to bring that mindset where if something is unsafe, you don't walk past. If you are looking that this is unsafe, just stop there. Talk about it, that how to eliminate that unsafe condition. I have seen people that when they move inside the plant, they just overlook certain things which are unsafe. You should not. Discipline management is one big value driver. How you maintain discipline. You should be very ability to call spade a spade. You can't bury those problematic things under the carpet. You need to. And finally, as I say that change management is something which is the responsibility of HR, which is, I will say, it's a big industrial relation value driver.
Right.
How you are handling change becomes important in the organization. You cannot sit and just see what is changing. You need to be a change agent. Even when I talk about technology is coming in. You cannot just leave the technology part in the hand of people, into those functions which are handling technology. You are there. You need to make sure that when technology is coming in, the fear of technology is eliminated by proper communication, by training. So it's your responsibility. So this is somewhat I can feel that these are important things.
So thank you so much, Pradyumna. Those were thought-provoking and very practical insights to the questions. So thank you so much. So now we are going to switch gears. We are going to dive into this quick rapid fire round. This activity is purely to know you a little better, a different side
Sure.
of you. I'll post some questions and if you can give some quick answers to it, that's the whole objective. So are you ready?
Yeah, please. Go
Sure.
ahead.
Okay. One word that defines your HR philosophy.
One word is trust.
Okay. A book that every HR professional should read.
See, on reading, I will not recommend a book.
Okay.
I always talk to people, I always go and talk to students that reading is something which makes you stand out in a group. See, readers are leaders and leaders are readers.
Right.
That is the tagline which I always talk about. That readers are leaders and leaders are readers.
Right.
So read whatever excites you, whatever makes you happy. Reading is something. I'm reading a book now, Psychology of Money. So not necessarily HR you should read. You should read whatever you want, but at least put an effort that you read at least an hour a day. That is.
Right. Beautiful. Would you prefer tea or coffee?
I don't either TT or coffee. I don't.
Okay, okay,
I'm a fitness freak person, so I did my uh, when I last my 57th birthday, I had a bike ride of 57 kilometers. So when I am putting my efforts on fitness that way, tea and coffee are not in my preferred list.
okay, okay, wonderful. A childhood dream you never pursued.
I always wanted to be a politician.
Okay.
I even tried to pursue it, but I was not successful.
Okay. A workplace trend you're excited about.
I think technology is exciting. The way it is facilitating our work is exciting. But I always warn people that don't think that it will replace you.
Right,
When you talk about recruitment, AI will help you to shortlist resumes, give lot many inputs. But the final reading of the person has to be done by people like us,
right.
those who have experience in handling people.
Okay. Your go-to stress buster at work.
I never felt any stress in my 33 years of career.
Wonderful.
No stress.
Okay.
I have zero anger in my life. So
Fantastic. A fun fact most people don't know about you.
people know everything about me. I am on social media, so my Facebook talks about my what I do, what I like. So people know everything about me. But yes, I think everything is open. I never kept myself closed. I never created a dual personality. What I am in my personal life, I am at office. So yes, on LinkedIn I have around 67,000 followers. I write my blog every Monday with name of PP Insights, which
Okay.
people follow. I love doing that, and
Sure.
it's a it's an activity which makes me more sharp. I learn while I'm writing those articles every Monday.
Sure.
But that is for the leaders in the organization, people like you. But I have a separate set of followers on Facebook. A day my son wrote a sheet, my dad has more connections than me on Facebook.
Right.
So but I know that the generation you and the next generation is out of Facebook now. They have moved to Instagram. But I also have Instagram handle in the name of Happiness Ki Pathshala. So
Okay.
I'm a happiness coach. I am a happiness coach. I do my sessions on happiness
Sure.
in organization. That is my passion. So I think this is new, something people will not all know, but yes, I'm a happiness coach.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful.
I'm a good dancer. I'm a good singer. Anything and everything is on Facebook.
Yes. Okay. Your favorite travel destination.
See, it's not about destination. It's not about with whom you are traveling.
Right.
So I always feel that wherever you go, it's memories which you create.
Sure.
So it's the people, those who travel with me, it's my friends who go with me. They make every destination a wonderful destination.
Beautiful. So my last question now, Pradyumna, is a skill or a hobby that you're currently learning.
Oh, I purchased a guitar.
Okay.
It's difficult to learn, but
Sure, sure. Okay, so thank you so much, Pradyumna. This brings us to the end of the podcast, and on behalf of HRA, I truly appreciate your time and your generosity in sharing your experiences and perspective in today's session. It was truly thought-provoking. It was personally my pleasure to host you today, so thank you so much.
thanks. Yeah, I think I love the interaction. It always keeps you agile. Such things, such going to talking to people, sharing experience. It's all about learning too for me also. So thanks for inviting me, HRAI. Best wishes to HRAI. Best wishes to you. Look
Thank you.
forward to being associated with HRAI for a long.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's a pleasure. I just have a quick note to our listeners. Thank you for tuning into this podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, do not forget to subscribe and leave a review. Until we meet next time, keep innovating and learning. Thank you.